Jennifer Lawrence's portrayal of Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games series will no doubt go down as one of the most blockbuster franchise movie roles of all time. But before she stepped into the part, a whole crop of young Hollywood actresses were considered. It's really difficult at this point to imagine anyone but the Oscar-winning actress as the bow and arrow slinging heroine, but this was a highly coveted role when the book-turned movie was first announced, so a lot of names were thrown into the arena, so to speak.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
Right now we're breaking down 12 lovely ladies you probably didn't realize were this close to nabbing the role of Katniss Everdeen. First up, Chloe Grace Moretz. The now 17-year-old actor made a splash as superhero hit girl in the 2010 flick Kick-Ass, so it makes sense as to why they'd consider her, since Katniss is obviously a very physical role. And though Chloe went as far as to audition for Katniss, she obviously didn't end up snagging the part. If we had to guess, she might have been a little young, considering she would have only been 14 years old when filming the first movie. We're fans of CGM, and girl should not let it get her down, as she has since starred in a slew of awesome movies, including Carrie, If I Stay, Dark Places, and she is even kicking off production for The Fifth Wave. Oh, and fun little fact, those are all book-turned-movie adaptations, just like The Hunger Games. Moving along, we have Hailee Steinfeld. Hailee burst onto the scene in 2011 thanks to her Oscar-nominated role in True Grit, which was right around the time they were casting Katniss. Since she's young, talented, and matched the physical description, Hailee's name was thrown into the mix, and she even spoke about meeting with the first movie's director, Gary Ross, saying, quote, "It's definitely something that we're taking one day at a time and making sure that everything is in place." Instead of The Hunger Games, she wound up starring in another uber-popular book-to-movie adaptation with Ender's Game in 2013, where she got to share the big screen with Harrison Ford. Speaking of Ender's Game stars who were almost in the Hunger Games, we have Abigail Breslin as the next gal on our list. You might know that this girl played Big Sis Valentine in Ender's Game, but before that she auditioned for the Hunger Games role, but again, when you're competing against Jennifer Lawrence,
you're gonna have a bad time.
You might recognize the next gal on our list as one of the butt-kicking stars of CW's former show Nikita, but sadly she didn't get a chance to show off her skills as Katniss Everdeen. Lyndsey Fonseca was at one point or another up for the role of Katniss, and it could have been a huge break for her, since her biggest roles before then were Desperate Housewives, a bit part in Kick-Ass, Hot Tub Time Machine, and playing future Ted Mosby's daughter in How I Met Your Mother. You'll get him next time, girl. Up next, we have a Twilight star who almost played the girl on fire, and that would be Jodelle Ferdland. Jodelle played the small part of ill-fated Bree Tanner in the Twilight Saga Eclipse, and was able to parlay that into being considered for the role of Katniss. Another potential Katniss is Mary Mouser. She did not grab the role, obviously, but she's starring as President Fitz's teenage daughter on ABC's hit show Scandal, so she has plenty to celebrate these days. And up next, we have Saoirse Ronan. The Irish actress had some memorable roles in dramatic films such as Atonement and The Lovely Bones, so it's clear that she would have the acting chops to take on Katniss. About playing Katniss, she revealed to E! Online, quote, "I read the script, I think the story is very interesting, and I read the book and I really liked it." So as far as we know, that's all that happened. However, she did go on to star in the book-to-movie adaptation of Stephenie Meyer's The Host. Emma Roberts might have a steady gig on FX's American Horror Story these days, but there was definitely a possibility of her never even doing that show because she could have been too busy playing Katniss. The actress was indeed considered for the coveted role and had to say this about not getting the part. "I was definitely interested in it, but it was just one of those things that didn't end up happening." Hey, look at it this way, Emma. If you had ended up getting cast as Katniss, you wouldn't have had time to do other projects like Adult World, where you met your man Evan Peters. See, everything happens for a reason. You're welcome. And if anyone else would like me to be their life guru, just let me know. The next actress on our list is Kaya Scodelario. Up until she was considered to play Katniss back in 2011, her biggest role was on the popular UK series Skins. Cut to a few years later, where she snagged the role of Teresa in the book-to-movie adaptation of The Maze Runner, alongside none other than Dylan O'Brien. See, you guys, everything happens for a reason. Another British actress who was in the running to play Katniss Everdeen is Emily Browning, whose breakout role was in another book-turned movie, Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, and that was back in 2004. She proved that she could not only be dramatic, but she could also kick some butt too, thanks to her role in 2011's Sucker Punch. But again, she's another gal, though talented in her own right, just couldn't beat out the flawlessness that is Jennifer Lawrence. Now, the next gal might not have been cast as Katniss, but she did end up getting to be in the Hunger Games after all. Isabelle Fuhrman plays the deviously evil District 2 tribute Clove, but she was auditioning as Katniss before snagging that aforementioned role. In fact, she did such a great job as Clove, maybe they thought she was just too darn evil to play Katniss. Just a thought. And last, but certainly not least on our list of actresses who almost played Katniss Everdeen, it's Shailene Woodley. Okay, so you might have already known this one, but we couldn't not include her, you know? Shailene was indeed one of the frontrunners to play Katniss, but alas, she lost out to Jennifer Lawrence, and according to Shay, it was because her audition wasn't the best.
It wasn't like a great audition, but I think that Jennifer Lawrence is perfect for that role.
You know what, Shailene? We agree. Jen is a perfect Katniss, and you're a perfect Tris in Divergent. Everybody wins, yay! So there you go, guys. Don't you feel so full of knowledge after watching this? Because you should. Thanks so much for sticking with me, Dana Ward and Clevver News. And if you're seeking even more knowledge, you can click over here to learn a few things you might not know about Jennifer Lawrence. See you lovely people next time.